Hey everybody, I'm back. Good times. I know it's been a little bit and I'll do more videos soon. It's just busy. Again, life stuff. What can I do? Oh, I love this song by Yes. This is like one of the first songs, like when I think back to being a kid, it's the first song I remember ever hearing. It's crazy. That and like some Def Leppard and some other stuff like that. It's pretty cool. So anyway, yeah, I wanted to come on and chit-chat about old arcade. Like, I spent a lot of time growing up in arcades and stuff like that. I'm a pretty hardcore gamer. I mean, I went across the street to my neighbor's place when I was young. I was like 3 or 4, and they had an old, I think it was an old, I don't even know what kind of fucking computer it was, but it's one of those old, you know, 3 and a half. You stick it in and turn the thing. And playing Miss Pac-Man, got pretty hooked, and I've been playing games ever since. So it's, you know, it's a good hobby with me. I love it. It keeps me busy. It keeps my mind going. It lets me focus. If I'm upset, I'll play a game and I feel happy. It's, you know, it's my drug of choice. So I've been also, because I like games so much, I'd hang out in arcades a lot when I was a kid. I mean, I used to love arcades. They were great. You just go and it's a fantasy land for kids, right? It's just games. I loved it. So much fun. Sega used to be kind of the boss back then. For they were on top of the arcade thing. I mean, Nintendo had a couple of arcade games. It wasn't really a lot. They had those Play Choice ones or whatever, but Sega had a shitload of really like amazing games, like the old Altered Beast, and there's like the R-Type and Shinobi, and I think Double Dragon was made by them. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure I saw their name on it. That and my favorite one, well, the old Wonderboy, but my favorite one, Outrun as well. Afterburner, yeah, you know, it's just crazy. There's a lot of them. My favorite one that was Wonderboy and Monsterland. It's an extremely weird game. Trying to get into it nowadays, I wouldn't understand. Like, you'd be kind of like, this is really fucking weird. But, you know, growing up with it, you're like, hey, it's cool. But then you go back and somebody's never seen it before. Like, I was playing it, and I was, you know, I have, you know, nostalgic moment. Oh, it's so good. And then Tony came in, and he's like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, Wonderboy Monster. And he's like, what are you doing there? And I'm like, I'm just jumping for coins. He's like, doesn't make any sense. So you're like this little cutesy poo character. Like, the whole game is set up kind of, you see a lot nowadays where everything's got big eyes, like, you know, cutesy poo. Anyway, this game is set up that way. It's also kind of got a lot of Greek mythology in it. The hero looks, with his armor and stuff, looks Greek, and then, you know, a lot of the monsters you fight are Greek too. So you go through this game, you start off, you have nothing, you're in your underwear, which back then I guess wasn't weird, and you would go into this door, gives you the sword, says the dragon is, you know, taking over the world. You gotta go fight the dragon. He gives you a refiller for your health, and then jump on the platform and away you go, and you start fighting stuff. And every time you kill enemies, you usually get money, but different enemies have different things. Like some enemies are a little tougher, and if you kill them, they'll drop like a really good item rather than just money. But you need every cent you can get in the game because you have to buy a whole bunch of equipment. And it's very important you get all the best armor and boots and everything because it makes you run faster and you can jump higher and, you know, take more damage and all that. Because otherwise you'll get your claw clean. It's hard enough when you get everything going right in this game. And there's also little hidden spots throughout all the game where you can jump and money will just fly. Like, usually you go on top of a cloud and you'll jump. There's usually 3 coins of these. You jump 3 times and there's 3 coins that will come out. And depending on what you do, like the coins usually are $1, $2, $4, $6. It's nothing. It's all random, right? But it's never a lot. But if you wiggle back and forth at the right way when you jump, you can get extra chances to get. Like sometimes it'll be $68. It's usually 66 or 68 for some reason. So if you, and it even increases if you have, you get these little sub items, they're spells really, and you kill a monster and you get 5 bombs and you pull down on the stick and he'll drop a bomb, and the bombs suck, but they're just good at hitting like low enemies and they do low damage, but at least you can, you know, hit somebody who's low. And then you got your next one, which is your little whirlwinds, and you release them and they bounce back and forth. They last for like 10 seconds, so if you can get them bouncing between 2 guys, it'll totally tear them up. It only goes on the ground. And then you got your fireballs, which will go, like, it's a group of 3 little fireballs that will go straight towards one opponent, so they seek, which is really, well, they don't follow, but they'll, you know, target at least. And then you got your best one, which is lightning. You pull down and just the whole screen gets hurt. The lightning is definitely the most kick-ass one. But usually, you don't want to, if you have fireballs or lightning, you don't want to waste those. And bombs don't make the percentage go up enough, so the little hurricanes are the best one, the little tornadoes are the best one to do it with. So you jump and you hit down and launch a couple tornadoes and you're shooting spells all over the place and money's just flying all over the place. It's pretty cool. So you go through this game, there's like, I don't know, 10, 12 stages, something like that. And you usually fight more than 1 boss per stage, and depending on how you do it, you can fight, there's two instances where you can fight the same boss twice. And the reason you want to do that is you fight him a second time, he's not any harder, but it gives you a bunch extra money and usually one extra good item or a thing that refills your health totally. You start out with 5 hearts, and this is your health, and you have a little timer that also is ticking away. Every 39 seconds or 37 seconds, the thing will flip and you lose a heart. If you pick up a heart, the timer resets, or if you pick up, there's little clock items you can pick up. You pick up a little hourglass, and bam, it refills your time thing. Or if you kill a boss and get an item, it refills your time thing. So basically, this game is forcing you to go at a certain pace. You don't have to rush, but you do have to kind of, you'd want to go at a fairly steady pace. You don't want to sit around scratching balls all the time because you'll just lose a bunch of health for no reason. And then when you get 30,000 points, you get your first bonus heart, which will then lead you up to 6, and then every 100 grand after that, you get another heart. So I think it's like 400,000 points. You basically have 10 hearts, and you need all those hearts. I mean, the game is very hard. There's a sword, there's shield, there's armor, and there's boots. And 3 of those 4 items you have to pay for. So there's 4. I think there's four types of each. The sword is a different thing altogether, but you basically buy the second best and then just buy the best because that's the cheapest and most economical way to do it. When you go into a shop, there's only 2 choices, and if you've never bought anything, you have the worst one, and then you have the second worst one. So you buy the second worst one, and then next time you have your second best one, and then your best one. So buy the second worst and then the best. The sword, you have to fucking talk. There's all these secret doors, you have to know where they are, and like you're walking through a cave, and all of a sudden someone is there, and you push up and you knock on the wall, and a secret door opens, and this guy says, "Here, give this note to this chicken Boro. He gives it to you. When you go there, there's another hidden door. Doesn't tell you. There's no indication this time. You would just have to hit up all the time when you're walking around the town to see if you can find this door. You open up the door, and then the lady's like, "Oh, here, take this item to this guy," and then you keep. Basically, it's like telephone. You keep doing it over and over again, and eventually, by later on, you end up getting this item that really helps you out. There's 2 you can choose from. When you're going into Dragon's Castle, it's a huge maze, and if you fuck up, you sometimes have to go right back to the start. So you can either choose between a bell or a ruby. The bell will ring every time you're going the right way, or the ruby, when you hit the dragon for the first time, will have his health on his first form. So basically, there's a quarter of the battle gone. So in case you're really hurt and you're like, I'm not going to be able to take this dragon, I don't have a lot of health, take the ruby. But if you've never been through the castle, you are going to spend your whole life fucking around in that castle and just die because the timer will run over and over again. The game is extremely fun. There's all these little sub-items you can get, like there's a gauntlet, which means you do double damage. It only usually lasts for about 6 swings or whatever, or if you haven't used it in like 15 seconds, your next swing is usually the last one. And there's wing boots that, you can coast in the air. There's a helmet that does half damage. There's a little, they call it a queer gown in the game. You put it on and you turn invincible, and it says, "I'm loose" when you wear it. It gives you invincibility for like 10 seconds or whatever. But I love it. Like, and when you die, you get this blue pill that'll refill you 5 hearts. So in case you're even if you have the 10, you die, it'll go 1, 1, 1. It'll say pill used, and you can sometimes pick up another pill by fighting certain little tougher enemies, like these little crabs and everything or whatever. Or you can buy it in certain shops for $100. So the game is fun because it's one of those types of games where if you fuck up a jump, it's not like some games where you jump and you can change direction in midair. Usually you make your bed when you made your bed, you lie in it. If you jump and aren't going fast enough, then you can't, like, some games are unforgiving for jumping. That's what I mean. It's pretty unforgiving. Same thing with the attacking. You have to be very, very good at attacking. It's like the old Castlevania, pretty much, where it's not as bad as that, but if you miss one little jump, bam, you're gone. Like, there's no forgiveness, there's no nothing. The game is hard that way, that you have to be really good at jumping and all that. And I love the way the sound effects. I love the look of the game. I love how it plays, how it feels. Like, everything about the game is great. And any monster that's kind of tough will wear a little jewel around their neck, which I always thought was kind of neat. And usually it's dark blue when you start out. It's navy. That means they're full health. And as you hit them, it'll change colors. It'll go through, like, turquoise and green, and when it gets to orange, then red. Red means they got 1 more hit left, so you hit them 1 more time and they're dead. So yeah, I've been playing this game since I was a kid. I just recently got back into it, and I finally finished it for the first time, and I'm so friggin' happy that I finally, beat it, and I got like 1,000,000 points or whatever. It took me a little bit to get back into it, get the timing back down, but now I'm pretty fucking good at it. Like, I can kill pretty much the hardest bosses in the game, and I don't really even take that much damage, so I could probably have to set it on a harder difficulty. The game, when it boots up, well, not when it boots up, but when you're playing it, you can hit tab and you can go into the menus, and you can actually set it harder. You can set it so that you need more points to be able to get those hearts, and harder difficulty, and monsters do more damage and everything, so I have to try it. Anyway, more game reviews coming.